Hey guys, I'm here today with Kat Reach. She is with Hope Renovations, and I have to tell you about how I ran into this company. Basically, I went to an event and I heard a young lady, and she was talking about how growing up she liked, she liked doing mechanical things, etc. But later on in life, she actually just became a housewife doing day-to-day stuff until one day she ventured out and started to live her dream, walk into construction, walk into making a difference. So after hearing this conversation, which was a dynamic conversation, of course, I'm just summarizing what I heard. I said, oh my gosh, I said, we have got to share this story because there are probably more women out there who would be interested in getting into this field. Well, I got a call from Kat Reach, and Kat is phenomenal. She's been telling about herself. She told me about how she actually grew up in the DC area, moved to North Carolina, basically finished her graduate degree in social work, and then all of a sudden walked into her love, her passion, her excitement, her exciting career at Hope Renovations. And wait until she tells you what their North Star principle is. So once again, I just wanted to mention this because there are so many of us who live in the you should, you ought to, the confinements of what we could or be, what we could or should be. And Kate Reach is kind of like my hero because she walked out of like certain parameters and became a phenom in what she does. So Kat, welcome, Kat.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here, Kelly.
Did I do okay?
Did great. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Kat, can you tell me a little bit about like your story, your journey, and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. Yeah. So Kelly, like you, I grew up kind of following my dad around, doing different projects around the house, kind of so enamored by using my hands, having a finished product, loved getting dirty and doing the hard work. And I was lucky enough to have a dad who was excited to teach me and didn't hold any problematic beliefs about what a girl should or shouldn't do.
So I have
So
to ask you this, Kat, really quickly. What was your
yeah.
first project? What was your
Oof.
first big project that you're really, really proud of?
Well, so my parents bought a fixer-upper, a pretty dilapidated house when I was in kindergarten. And so I can remember some of the first projects were taking down wallpaper. That was probably my least favorite project, but building a deck, taking down the wall in our kitchen, laying flooring, a lot. Like really, we touched almost every year we went just room by room and did a different project. So it was
I
really just
need
a
your phone
cool.
number. I got some repairs. I need your phone number. I made a wall unit with my dad, and that was like my claim to joy. So after doing all
Nice.
this stuff with your dad, you were like, I'm kind of feeling this.
Well, it was a little bit delayed. So I come from a family of kind of blue collar workers, even like dating generations back. Lots of carpenters in my family. My grandpa had a drywall company growing up, so I was around it a lot, but it was always the men in my family. So I really didn't see an opportunity for myself. But I always wanted to find something that kind of had a greater social impact. So I ended up going into housing and homelessness after undergrad. And then I went back to grad school for social work. So I worked in the school system for a little while. I was working with families, many of whom were female head of households who were working in low wage, meaningless work that they had no pride in, that didn't excite them. And I think I felt a lot of frustration in that work of kind of feeling like I wasn't helping to change the system. I was just kind of putting band-aids on things. I was giving people, I was working to find opportunities for people to just meet their basic needs and not necessarily thrive. And so but I was always doing this work on the side because social work doesn't pay a whole lot. And I loved building. So I was always, I worked in the school system. So all summer long, I would work for a general contractor and do side jobs just to bring in some cash. And then, through that, I was kind of building my skills more and just loving it. And then the pandemic hit, and I found out about Hope Renovations, and it was it was the summer of 2020, and Hope Renovations was kicking off, and I was one of the first 6 hires. We all started about the same time. And I started doing this for Hope, and saw this really cool blend of the two things. So Hope Renovations we're kind of an innovative nonprofit. We have a dual mission. We train women to come into the skilled trades through our training program. So they do a 15.
What are some of the skilled trades that they learn?
So they get a taste of everything. So they do basic carpentry, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, weatherization, drywall, painting. They get to kind of touch all these different areas to see what excites them the most. And then they work with we have a training success specialist who works with them to find job placements after they graduate from our program. So they spend 9 weeks in the program, and then they actually spend the last 6 weeks. So it's a 15-week course, 9 weeks in the classroom. And then the last 6 weeks, they come out with our construction crews. So we run kind of a full-fledged construction business that prioritizes projects for folks who are aging in place. So 55 and older, tub to shower conversions, wheelchair ramps, widening doorways, making homes just more accessible, because as we know in our current culture, we have the baby boomers who are aging, and our options for safe housing outside of their home are really limited. And I think the stat is like 95% of Americans want to remain in their homes as they age. They don't want to go to an out-of-home placement. And so we're working to try to make homes safer so that they can do that. So that last 6 weeks, our trainees actually come out on site with our construction crews and get their kind of hands-on experience. So they're taking what they learned in the classroom and applying it out in the community, doing work for folks who really need it. And we use a sliding scale. So some of these projects are completely free, all the way up to full cost jobs that kind of supplement the work of our free jobs.
Excellent, excellent. And so first of all, let me just say something. I'm 56, so 55 is still young.
Absolutely. But it's truly, what we're seeing is it's never too young to start thinking about these things, because not only do we work with aging folks, but we work with people who face unforeseen diagnoses that they never would have thought that they would have to navigate at their age. So yeah, it's never too soon to start thinking about how to make your home safer for anything that might happen in life.
So what is the age range so who do you work with? Men, women, young, old? Tell me a little bit about the people who actually are part of Hope Renovations.
Yeah, our trainees are really diverse in a lot of different ways. We work, I think our first cohort, well, actually, out of all of our trainees, I think the youngest we've had is 19 and the oldest we've had is mid-60s. So we work with a wide age range, a lot of different experience. I think COVID was a really unique time to start a program like this, because some people were forced to rethink their career because of layoffs and just the impact of the pandemic. So we have folks who are just re-careering and trying to pivot into something that they've always thought about, but never really saw an opportunity for. And then we have folks who, the majority of the folks that we work for or we work with in our training program are historically from low wage, a lot of them coming from service industry work, and maybe have like a series of employment barriers that they've struggled to address over the years. And so that's where our training staff comes in and kind of provides support in connecting them with services or finding opportunities to address some of those employment barriers. We work with primarily women and gender nonconforming folks. And it's a really incredible opportunity for them to be alongside folks with kind of the same idea and excitement about the trades. And our cohorts are typically between 6 and 10 folks. And they go through the 15 weeks the entire time with the same cohort, which is a really great model because they get to kind of build that community and have like a group of people that are kind of sharing this experience as they go through, who they can also rely on when they go into the field.
So a couple things. One, I was wondering, what is the cost to be a part of the program?
Mhm.
Two, what is the prerequisite with regards to skills as
Mhm.
far as them coming in the program? And then what about like support network? Have you found that the people who come into the program have a strong support network, or they develop the support network once they get there? So
Yeah, good
finances.
question. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
So
say that again. Say that again. I like praise whenever I can get it. What did you just say?
good. I think I said good questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so our program is pretty unique in that we actually pay people to go through our program. Um, one of the big barriers to furthering your education is cost. And also we work with a lot of folks who are the head of their households. A lot of them have children and they can't afford to put their work on hold. This is a full-time program. It's Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's a big commitment for those 15 weeks. And we want to make sure that we're getting people in the program who really need it. And so we actually provide a stipend when they're in the training program for those first 9 weeks. And then after those 9 weeks are over, they actually come onto our team as W-2 employees, and they are paid a living wage to work with our construction crews while they kind of further their training and their experience. And your second question was, you
Okay.
said cost.
They were
Oh,
good questions.
prerequisites. Prerequisites. Okay.
Experience and yeah.
Yeah. So we get people who have never touched a hammer before, but just have an excitement about it and a willingness to learn. And then we get folks who have been working maybe in a field adjacent to construction, maybe in drafting or design or real estate even, who have always been excited about it. So we really don't require a whole lot. 18 and over and an excitement about the program. And we have an interview process just to make sure that it's a good fit, and that people really understand what they're getting into with our program. But otherwise, we welcome a lot of folks.
And then what about support? Like, do they need to
Mhm.
have an extensive support network outside because of what's going on, or because of the demands of the training program, or do they develop a extensive support network within the training program?
Yeah, we don't have any like hard and fast rules about that. We have folks who come in with very limited support, and they do really thrive by having that community of support when they join Hope. I think we do a pretty good job of fostering like a really supportive environment for our trainees, and Monday through Wednesday, they're really focusing on hard skills, and then on Thursdays they're doing more of this what we call soft skills. So some of that has to do with just job readiness type stuff, building resumes and things like that. But then the other side of that is just communicating and like conflict resolution and all those important things that are important to a work environment, but also translate well to just your everyday life. So I think through that experience, the connections are a little deeper than they would be just in like your typical vocational program.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're venturing into something completely new, completely different. That's why I asked about the support. So I love the fact that you're
Yeah.
providing support within. I wanted to ask, when individuals join your program,
Mhm.
um, they have certain expectations, etc. And then they leave, they have certain realities. What has been some of the responses or some of the feedback you've heard about the program? Like people said, wow, I've expected this, or, this was different from what I expected, or
Yeah. I think we've had a lot of everyone's experience is so different, which is cool. And also from cohort to cohort, it's so different just because of the milieu of the group, and what people are hoping to get out of it, what people are hoping to do with it afterwards. We've had folks who have gone into a big part is getting people to expand their training further. So, our course is 9 weeks, 15 weeks total, which sounds like a lot, but really like if you're going to specialize in something, we're packing a lot into those 15 weeks. So people are getting a little bit of everything, kind of like the basic information that they need. But if they want to go into an electrical apprenticeship or a plumbing apprenticeship or like a very specific trade, then we'll work to connect them after the fact with furthering their education in that way. So we've had a couple folks do that, and I think that's been a really good experience for them. And then we have a lot of really supportive partners and employers who are looking to diversify their workforce and kind of broaden the folks that they hire. So I think one of the challenges that we're understanding is that it can be really hard for folks to go into a new company as the only person who looks like them. I did it when I was an undergrad. I worked in commercial construction, building restaurants, and it was like pretty intimidating to walk onto a job site and know that I was the only woman there. So I think one of the things that we've worked really hard to do is provide that like aftercare after the program is over. So we have a mentorship program for folks who go into a variety of trades. We connect them with kind of a more seasoned professional who's been there and who has the experience, who can kind of walk them through difficult situations or celebrate with them through, you know, triumphs. So that's a newer development that we put into place after we heard feedback that, you know, I think it is a little bit of like an aftershock when you're going through this program with all of these, you know, awesome folks, and then suddenly you leave and you find a job somewhere where maybe, you know, it's not the same environment that you're coming out of with Hope, fewer folks that you maybe feel like you can communicate with and get support from. Having that mentor relationship is really important. So
Now,
we're always go ahead.
oh no, go ahead, good.
I was just gonna say, we're always trying to find ways, we're always like evaluating and trying to figure out ways that we can improve our program. And it has changed so much since our first cohort. So I think that mentorship piece is super, super great.
So let me ask something. You're located in Chapel Hill, am I correct?
Yeah, so we're in Carborough. We serve Orange County, Durham County, Alamance, Chatham. We're kind of centralized there, but we have a 20-mile radius from there, and we're actually expanding into Wake County in 2024. So we'll be putting our training program at Wake Tech.
That's what I was gonna ask. So there'll be 2 locations where people can take the class.
Yes.
For the program. Okay.
Yes.
So let's say somebody lives in California, I don't know, or
Mhm.
lives in Austin, Texas. Can they then come to North Carolina, do the program, and then go back home? Or are you only working with persons who reside in those particular counties?
We've had a couple folks who have relocated. I don't think we have any sort of restriction about anything like that. So if people are able to, we welcome it. But right now it is an in-person training course. So they have to be located here for the duration of the training program. But we get inquiries from all over. We've had some opportunities to get some national coverage recently. And every time we do, it's, the demand for a program like this is pretty widespread.
It's got to be phenomenal. I mean, it's so funny because I was talking to someone last night and we were saying that, you grew up, well, like I said, I'm a little bit older, with these traditions of like, if you're a female, you become a teacher, you become this, right?
Mhm.
Now, today's kids, they are exposed to not just what your neighbors are saying, they're exposed to global expectations,
Right.
local success. So now globally, they may see more women in construction, you know,
Mhm.
they may see
Mhm.
more women leaders or more women in dominant positions. And so now they're like, okay, well, I can venture out. But even though I can venture out, if I'm in a world or if I'm in a society or if I'm in a community or if I'm in a household that doesn't appreciate that, how do I find the support? So I love the
Yeah.
fact that, what is your North Star principle?
If you can see it, you can be it.
I love that because once again, there are people who are seeing it, but kind of questioning whether or not they have the resources, the support, the whatever it may be to be it.
Mhm.
So Kat, you've introduced a phenomenal program, phenomenal opportunities. I love the mentorship program. I love the fact that you can go there, no matter what your previous skill set is. The fact that you accept all different types of females with all different types of walk, all different types of, insight, experience, etc. So that is just phenomenal because it's inclusive and accepting. But the question is, Kat, how do we get to you? How do we contact you? How do we find out more information and find out if this is a right fit for us?
Yeah. So
And Kat,
our
wait,
website,
wait. And you need to bring me out there one day so I can just at least experiment with something. But go
come
ahead.
on, come on, we're ready. So our website is hoperenovations.org. We're on all the socials. I think our handle on Instagram is just at Hope Renovations. If you are interested in joining our training program or learning more, you can send us an email or visit our website and send an inquiry through our website. You'll see a little tab that to contact us, but our email address is info at hoperenovations.org. And we would love to hear from you.
Excellent, excellent. And so when they contact you, what should they be telling you? I mean, what do your typical inquiries look like?
So just so we do info sessions. So what we'll do is if you reach out and just kind of let us know which area you're interested in, if there's a specific trade you're looking at, or if you don't know, just kind of any information that would be helpful about your situation and what you're looking for is great. And then we'll follow up with you to get you into one of our information sessions so you can learn more to make sure it's a good fit.
Excellent, excellent. Kat, it sounds phenomenal. I really want to do, I want to do one of those. Wait, what are those specialty areas again? Tell me, because I want to do one.
So we got plumbing, electrical, carpentry, drywall, tiling, painting, weatherization, green build. Really, we go through a lot of different areas.
I might try the carpentry one. So can I just, I mean, because can I just come try one? Really?
So we are going to actually have some classes in the new year that are shorter periods that might be more specialized towards those specific things. Our training program is quite a commitment, so you'd have to sign up for those 15 weeks right now. We'd love to have you, Kelly. Come on.
You see the wheel spinning, right? They are spinning.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. Come on.
I was really, so the funniest thing is I told Kat before we started this interview is that I was really and truly like a daddy's girl, like, build the shelving units, like, hammer, nail, all that other kind of stuff. But my mom was the exact opposite. Like my mom was like Gloria Vanderbilt, book of etiquette, like caviar in the refrigerator, like, always nails done, hair done every week, like phenomenal. So my mom would only allow me to do so much with my dad and then like, pull it back and be like, not my daughter. So, and I'm an only child. So, I had both, but, wow, it just sounds so exciting. Well, listen, Kat, once again, like I said, it sounds exciting. I thank you so much for you doing what you do. I thank you so much for your, experience in social work and also what you're doing right now, because I'm quite sure, once again, there are many opportunities to assist people with that social realm with regards to transitioning to a new field. But I thank you so much for what Hope Renovations is doing as far as providing hope, inspiration, and opportunities for a group of people who may not have seen those opportunities in the past. So, guys, send her an email. Hey, look, you can even send Kat an email and say thank you for sharing, right? You would appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah. Love to hear from you. Thanks, Kelly.
Cool. All right. Thanks again, Kat.
Yeah. Take care.